herself up short, she reminded herself of the important position she held within the F.W. Woolworth Company. It had been a struggle to reach this point, and she had no intention of letting her employers down. She would treat her work seriously and not stand for any nonsense. Oh yes, she knew what counter-assistants and other members of staff could get up to. She'd learnt all the tricks while working her way up the ladder to where she was now. She patted her severe bun into place, knowing the silver threads in her hair reinforced the impression that she was a stern taskmaster. At least none of the young ladies waiting outside were aware that this was the first time she'd ever advertised and interviewed staff at the Ypres store. She would make Charlie proud of her, and all that she'd achieved, she thought, fighting back the sudden tears that pricked her eyes. "Pull yourself together, Betty," she scolded herself, straightening the paperwork on her desk and picking up a fountain pen in readiness for making notes. "Are you ready, Miss Billington?" Alan popped his head round the door again. "Yes. Thank you, Alan. Please show the candidates in. I will have a chat with the whole group before they take their tests." She watched as the women entered silently, giving her wary glances. Most seemed to be wearing their best coats and hats. One was dressed like a starlet from the silver screen. Whatever was she doing applying for a position as counter-assistant? Another applicant appeared to be no more than a child, a scrap of a thing whose clothes were worn, shabby and tired, very much like her expression as she gazed at Betty through frightened eyes circled with dark shadows. It made Betty think back to the day when her own life had changed so drastically, when her dream of becoming a Woolworths girl had come true. Chapter 1. Christmas Eve 1916. "Oh, I've missed you so much," Elizabeth Billington said as she threw herself into the arms of a sandy-haired man who was wearing the uniform of a corporal in the Royal West Kent Regiment. He swung her around before leading her behind a high wall beside the entrance to Charlton Park, where he was supposed to be guarding the gates. Even though it was late afternoon, with hardly anyone around, he was wary of being caught while on guard duty, not to mention sullying his beloved's reputation. "Let me look at you," he said, holding her at arm's length. "You're a sight for sore eyes, even in the twilight. Is this for me, Betty?" Elizabeth felt her cheeks start to burn. Only Charlie Sayers called her Betty. Her mother would have a fit if she knew Charlie had shortened her name. Come to that, she would have a fit if she knew her 17-year-old daughter had slipped away from the house to meet a man the Billingtons had never been introduced to. Mrs. Billington feared for Elizabeth's virginity even more than she feared the danger of the Zeppelins. She gave a small curtsy and held her coat away from her body so he could see the shell-pink gown, threaded with silver stitching. "I chose it hoping you would remember me dressed in my finery, but it's really meant for a New Year's soiree I have to attend with my parents. If only you could come," she sighed. Charlie snorted his disgust and reached for his cigarettes, lighting one for Elizabeth. She didn't like the taste, and the smoke made her feel sick, but she wanted to share his love of smoking. In fact, she wanted to share everything he was interested in, including the way he worshipped the football team, Charlton Athletic. "You'd not get me near one of those highfalutin affairs," he scoffed. "No one in their right mind wants to waste time rubbing shoulders with toffs. That lot hardly get their hands dirty to earn a living. They all prefer to live off dividends from family shares or inheritances. None of them do an honest day's work." Elizabeth pulled away. "That's my family and their friends you're belittling," she admonished him, even though she knew he was right. Her father did something in the city, but she wasn't sure exactly what it was, only that he left at 8 o'clock each morning for the bank and always came home for dinner in a foul mood, before burying his head in his newspaper, muttering about share prices and the state of the country. Perhaps Charlie had a point. "Let's not fall out," he begged. "This'll be the last time we see each other for God knows how long. I don't want us to part at loggerheads."